Is Bill 23 seriously proposing to pave farmland? As a farmer, I am dumbfounded by this now that I've finally had time to dig into it. And as a member of Team Planet Earth, I am really upset about it. It's completely backwards. And I really think that the person online who had it right, who said that, this should be called the Making McMansions Act or the Pave Farmland Act, because it's nothing like the Build Home Fasters Act that it claims to be. So I'll give you a practical example of how backwards this is. And I'm not tied to one party or another, but I'll just give you a bit of history on this issue because I think it's a big part of the solution. So in 1994, NDP passed legislation that allowed you to easily add a legal accessory apartment to any single family home in Ontario. So overnight, people started adding apartments and got a lot of help towards their mortgage and increased housing substantially in a short period of time. But 2 years later, the Conservatives repealed the act because, whatever government's in power wants to undo what the previous government did 9 times out of 10, which makes no sense. But the act was great because, there's 4 or 5 million single family homes in Ontario. And when you give homeowners the opportunity to do that and make it simple for them, they're going to go ahead and do it. It just makes financial sense for them. And it makes financial sense for people that are looking for housing. So uh, the fact that it's been turned back makes it ultra complex these days. I've been through this process myself to add an accessory apartment. It's very complicated. It's very expensive because of the constraints they put on it. And for that reason, hardly anybody does it anymore. Only the most ambitious people will go ahead and do it. So what does Bill 23 have to do with this? Well, Bill 23 makes it even harder. Now you're talking about rezoning. Nobody's going to do that. And also you have to have a extra parking space for any accessory apartment, which, in a lot of houses is not an option or a really expensive option. So again, it's just going to put the brakes on building accessory apartments, which makes no sense to me. So I started farming to put carbon back into the soil. And when I see bulldozers out paving farmland, it makes me feel so frustrated because it takes so much work to put the carbon into the soil and to build the health of that soil. And it's so easy to drive a bulldozer across it and then pave it over. What little grass will be left there will be on life support, supported by irrigation and synthetic fertilizers, because it's just sod laid down on top of fill, essentially. Then they're building really big, inefficient houses for one family again. So it's so frustrating. So, if they did put two families under one roof, now your heating is supporting two families instead of one. So your carbon footprint is cut in half for your housing essentially. So to me, it's a no-brainer for so many perspectives. And why are we doing this? So anyways, I wanted to encourage you to take action. It'll take you 2 minutes. You go to environmentaldefence.ca, defence.ca, and you scroll down and look for the Hands Off the Greenbelt link. It's very straightforward. They walk you through the process for sending a letter to your MPP or calling them. And also you can see where there's protests that are happening, so you can help bring the message to leadership that Act 23 is just a huge mistake. It's backwards. And I'm hoping that you can help. Thanks very much.